Welcome back to Dork Points, everybody. This is Ron,
And me.
and it's a kind of Halloween special. We played the Voices games, yes, all of them, the Voices bundle. So we're calling this video So Bad,
It's scary.
it's a nightmare. Yeah. Starting with Lizard Lady and the Cats.
Which is just a nightmare.
Yeah.
A nightmare in one.
Look at her face.
It's terrifying. This game is just not good in general. I mean, none of them are, but then again, as you can see from this gameplay. Wow.
It's a third-person shooter, and the shooting feels so bad that sometimes when you press the shooting trigger, you don't hear a shot, so you're not sure if you're even shooting during the game. It's extremely unpleasant. We played it a while ago. I think we made a video about it.
Very young, Charlie.
Yeah, it was, I think, one of the first cheap games we ever played, or a worst games list. But, yeah, this game is downright terrible, and this is the Voices games. And just prepare your soul, because they're all kind of gonna be like this, or worse.
Yes, worse.
Starting
with...
Go ahead.
The Voices stories. This game is literally just reading a bunch of stories. That's it.
That's it.
You literally get trophies for just scrolling through these.
Yeah, and the stories are not great.
You read them?
Yeah, I read one,
No,
and the way it ended was just not good. And oh yeah, look at this text here. Okay, remember, it's safer to. Oh no, is that the one? I can't remember.
No, it's the last one.
But there's one where it turns out he. Yeah, it's got this just horrible twist to it. It kind of reminds me of like the fiction I would read in high school or something. No offense to the guy who makes these games, but oh, here it is.
He resumed his reading only to find he couldn't remember how.
He forgot to read. Oh, what a twist. Okay.
And next we have Lady in a lizard costume with a gun.
Leotard. Lady in a leotard with a something gun, a big gun.
Lizard.
So at first, this is just Lizard Lady and the Cats. It's another knockoff. It's pretty terrible, as you can see here. I don't know why we took so much footage of these just horrible games.
Yep.
But in a second, you're going to watch this turn into an actual horror game. And here we go.
Just terrifying.
Yeah, look at those things.
Our adrenaline rush, like when we saw this, it was just ugh.
Oh,
just went through the roof.
Yeah, these creatures, especially just the first time, you don't know they're coming in the game. You've never seen them before. And you get to like the second or third level here, and all of a sudden, they're scrambling at you like a crazed lizard or something. It's just terrifying. But the game, it is better than Lizard Lady and the Cats. There's different types of levels, as you can see here, and they're interesting to some degree, but then there's jank like this. You want to explain what's going on?
Chaos. And also, so like when you die, it doesn't show like a you died screen either, so you just like respawn.
Yeah, that's what just happened. You can't tell from that footage at all, but I just died. And then I start walking towards
unless you're smart like me,
the same area, and then people start coming at me again. Anyway, okay, what is this called again? Newtonian inversion. So again, some interesting ideas here, but no tutorial, no information or text whatsoever, no seeming kind of story or connective tissue. It wants to be a puzzle game.
It wants to be, but it's failing in every class.
Because you don't know how to play the puzzle, I guess.
There's no tutorial.
Yeah, and the fact that you don't know what's going on, especially on some of these bigger areas, like you get a big globe area.
You just got lost.
Yeah, you just wander around because there's nothing pointing you in any direction, and eventually I just stumbled upon a button. And then press that button, and that did something. But if you don't know where to go on a globe, you'll just walk in the same area like I'm doing right here, just over and over until I finally found it. But yeah, this part. Okay, so I went and I hit that.
Yeah, and then it hit that, and then it boosted you up there, back to where you, like, started or whatever, and then it teleports you somewhere else, and then you're back here, and then I tried it, and then I didn't know what to do because it was so confusing.
Yeah, watch this. Now we press that button, and then we hit this button.
And then we did this.
And then we do this, okay? And then the ball just shoots into space.
We didn't know what to do.
It's just like, thanks,
So
game. And so then I just got mad and jumped off the edge of the world. All right, Spectre Woods. Now this is, God, I mean, Hoodie Survivor is terrible, but this is, gosh darn, I mean, everything on this list is just
trash.
I hate to say it. This one, though, in particular, is close to the worst of the worst. You, first of all, it wants to be like a throwback horror game, but it's made with this terrible, cheap animation, and then they have these trail of flowers, and then you follow them, but then they just end. They don't go anywhere. Yeah, and then you find yourself wandering out.
Just like, where do I go?
Yeah, into the darkness, and then there's something that looks like a portal.
Don't go into the light.
Yeah, and I went into the light, and then there's...
You should never go into the light.
That's true, right? But yeah, so then you wander another flower area, and then you come across,
whatever the heck that ghost is. The ghosts in this game are just... They just are.
It's
something.
It looks like a little kid drew it.
Yeah.
Those are the bad guys of this game.
Those things.
Like paint ghosts from Paint. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but okay, so then beyond that, I shot 2 ghosts, and then I started walking around the map, and you just get to the border, and there's nothing there, and your character just keeps walking, so I went around and around the perimeter, and I couldn't find anything. And then, here's my character just glitching out because I'm stuck on a wall. What a
Next,
terrible game.
we have Violetti Gutili? I don't know.
Yes. And, it's not a good game, but it's something different. Again, they're doing... It's a 2D side-scrolling platformer, and... I guess you didn't really play it. I played it, and
I watched you play it, and it was hilarious.
I really hated it. There's all these moments like, look at this.
You just aren't good at that.
Oh, actually, I did good there. Okay, this is the part where I mess up.
You messed up really bad on this part, which is just ridiculous. But yeah, the graphics in this game are, I guess, decent, especially for a platformer, I would say myself. But the actual, like, playing itself doesn't... this. It doesn't make sense.
And, if you're going to make a side-scrolling platformer, don't make it a brick-moving puzzle solver as well, unless that's your focus. I mean, don't try to add Mario with some other game, because it just makes it impossible. Like, in this level, I got to jump on these bad guys and use these bad guys as, like, my way to get up. But I gotta go grab them without getting hit from another area of the game. And
then once he got up, he got on the platform, and then one of these little bats, as you will see in a second, just straight up murdered him. Just like...
What are you talking...
What do you mean, what am I talking about?
All right.
Now we have Gunducky Industries.
At first, this looked really good. You told me there were levels and stuff, and I was looking forward to it. But then the level never seemed to end.
But there were checkpoints.
Yeah. But after 20 minutes, I think the background changed.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like someone figured out a way to make something that kind of looks like Star Fox, but it's basically all just moving forward. You can turn around, we found out.
Yeah.
Because we noticed this, Charlie noticed this, that these bugs keep turning. And so you can kind of turn around, but you don't have a big open area like Star Fox. You have this little valley. So trying to turn around, you just run right into the grass and stuff.
I did. Multiple times.
But, I mean, it's better, sadly to say, than Spectre Woods or Violetti Goody. At least it's playable. Oh, and then there's
Gunduck Industry. I can't speak.
Gunducky Industries +1, and now It's a special plus. And look at the fish are upgraded to look better.
The fish are rounded and have eyes now.
Instead of triangles like the other game.
There's also these pink glowy things, which I guess give you, like, points or something.
Yeah, the background looks exactly the same, so...
I guess it is a little, like, leveled up, because at least, like, the water is reflecting. I am trying to, like, take in these, like, details that they at least, like, tried this time.
Yeah.
To, like, add more
those
detail.
Those guys look the same.
Yeah.
And then your movement is exactly the same. And
I was turning around, and it turns out they actually do follow you, which is just great. I ended up dying either way.
But yeah, you find out the hard way that there's no point in even trying to turn in this game. So there you go. All right, moving on to the worst game.
Survivor.
Without a doubt,
Hoodie
I've probably
Survivor.
ever played. This is it. You're a hoodie character that's just spinning like asteroids, I guess. It's just asteroids with some characters in it, and then those little those are spiky things, those two sections you see on the left and right.
And
those
you
are
didn't
spikes.
think those were spikes.
Yeah, I thought they were just trees or something, but yeah, you float into them. As you're trying to aim, your character moves, so then you're just rolling no matter which way you go, because it's such a small area, and it doesn't move around like asteroids. You have a border, so no matter which way you turn, you're turning into an obstacle. It's just total garbage. Just the look of it makes me depressed and want me to peel my skin off.
But then I let him know that you can actually turn like a normal person. He was like, "Oh yeah, I can do that."
That's true.
And then he remembered logic after this death, and I pointed out to him like, "Hey, you can turn." He was like, "Oh yeah."
But yeah, it still makes your character it's like maneuvering a boat from the top down position, like if you're watching a boat sail.
I see that now.
Yeah.
Does not, yeah. Even
It's almost undescribably bad. I mean, you can see what it is. All right.
Dragons in Space. By far, honestly, the best game of this, like, thing. It actually has some, like, really good gameplay. Except some levels are pretty annoying, I will admit. But,
they're
like...
hard. Yeah, sometimes.
But, like... Otherwise than that, it's actually one of the best games from the Voices Games franchise, I will admit.
Me too. It's got a charm. Now, it looks just as cheap as all the other ones, but when you're playing it, and I'm sure you can see too, it feels like a, what is it, where they use construction paper. It looks like a video game made out of construction paper, and at first it's not charming, but then it gets you. Also, every level is completely different. Like, you saw that one that kind of looked like R-Type, made out of construction paper. Now you have this weird one where I'm kind of like a floating lightsaber in space. And then these levels, too, are pretty darn cool. I got to a boss fight, must have been level 10 or 20, and I could not get past him. But, again, it felt fair, and I played it multiple times trying to beat that boss.
It's actually a good game out of all of these, I will admit.
Yeah, we played more levels of this than I think anything else. We just kind of kept going until I got stuck at the boss fight.
Yeah.
It kind of puts you in a trance. It's calming in a way. It is, again, difficult. Okay, moving on to Aliuna?
Whatever the heck that says.
This one, too, I hate to admit it. I mean, yeah, it's cheap-looking trash. It looks like an old PS1 game when they were still pushing...
At least the controls are better than most of these games.
Yeah, and then it's interesting what you're doing, but again, a lot of broken parts to the whole, but it's a 2D / top D or 3D, like top-down meets 2D, and then it kind of switches perspectives into 3D once in a while, but it almost reminds me of what is it, something monsters,
yeah,
that island of
I
can't remember
definitely.
what it's called. Yeah.
And then there are some parts where you do have to do some parkour, which my dad hates, but I love.
Yeah, you're better at this.
I'm better at everything.
And yeah, I think you're going to see it here in a second. Yes, this part. It was impossible to jump over that spiky ball. So I just found a cheat. I just dropped down to the exit.
And then you just fell onto the flag.
Yeah, and I was just able to get out of the level that way. Not so lucky in this one. Now, again, see, this is the stuff I like a little more, but the problem is the checkpoint system here. So I got really far on this, but they want you to complete like the whole area. It was like 5 minutes of jumping around lasers, and then I died, and it brought me all the way back to the beginning of the laser section.
Yeah,
so,
it's like every area only has one checkpoint, and I feel like they should add like more checkpoints per area, even if it is a moving platform. Like after you pass the moving platform, like there should be some extra stuff.
Yeah, or manual save. All right, now we're getting into the just the
confusingness.
Yeah, this is terrible, but it's also you don't know what's going on. There's a lady talking to you, and then it turns into a tunnel shooter. And what we found
was that if you don't hurt the enemies, they don't hurt you.
Yeah, for a while, if you just shoot straight ahead, the bullets will miss you, and you can play like the entire first 2 or 3 levels. But then it turns into this kind of cavernous crawl where the bullets will be coming at you, and it gets more difficult and irritating. But
the first few levels, you can just not shoot any enemies, and you'll be perfectly fine. But once it does like get into the further levels, you do actually have to put in some effort.
Yes.
So.
You know, I gotta say, I got no problem with somebody making a game like this, but at least make it look good. I don't know. Yeah, try. And the same with these. Okay, yes, we love Endless Shaft and all of its knockoffs. It's also a total ripoff of an old Flash game, by the way. But, you know, speaking of this, it's this kind of has more charm just than,
does it?
I don't know. It's yeah.
But there are different modes, which is hilarious. It makes the gameplay even more yeah.
Tolerable?
Well, funny?
Yeah, we had a lot of laughs. That's true. We had a lot of fun with it and kind of screaming and all these different modes, rocket mode and hammer mode and falling rocks mode. I got pretty far on that
Rocket mode is the worst one.
I love rocket mode. It's when you can get away, it's cool. But again, none of these different modes or in none of these different modes can you get any further than, you know, a couple feet down the shaft or a couple, like this is just
also we're just not talented though, so
well yeah, but I mean every single level you make it about, I would say, maybe 30 seconds into the game at most, and that's it, because the shaft starts to tighten and it always becomes impossible, and then your character moves so jittery because again it's a lot like a Flash game. Your character's just like moving the screen itself.
Yeah.
Oh, and this one just didn't make any sense because you can't slow down or speed up your character.
Yeah.
So this was just death.
Yeah. Over and over.
Yeah.
And over and over. And once again, and there you go.
And over and over and over. Oh god, just
so many times.
Yeah, it was punishment. Happy Halloween.
And we hope you have a good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. Not whoever you are. It depends on who you are. Whatever.
Okay.
Have a good morning, afternoon, or evening, and yeah.
Dork Points.